Welcome along, everyone. I've been having a dreadful morning with computer issues, bugs, and stuff. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, but I've been having a lot of problems this morning. I've been out here from 10 o'clock trying to get connected to StreamYard, and it wouldn't go. So, long story short, I went into the house and disconnected everything from the router and turned it off and reset it, and I came back out and it's going now. So, I've still noticed it's cutting out and then. I don't know what's going on. My internet connection's fine. My upload speed's fine and download it's fine. But it's something to do with StreamYard. So I'll just persevere with it. So if you do lose me, my trusty right hand man, Doug, will tell you a story or two. We'll bring him in. Uh,
It'll be a yarn, I'm sure.
there's Doug. We'll have Doug today.
Good morning, everybody.
Bram wasn't not available today. So anyway, what we're going to do today? Right, I'll just put Doug back in the background. Uh,
Bye.
uh, because I have this I'd planned to do the hashtag today, but with all the problems been having, I've just my head's all over the place and just couldn't concentrate on it enough to do what I wanted to do. So I changed my mind. So I have a cube. This is 3 3/4 square ish. It's a piece of sycamore. So we're going to turn a wee winged vessel out of it, and we'll see where that takes us. Uh, I bought this in the woodshed. It's not. I don't know what it's like, but it's very manky in the top, the outside skins and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. So I will get started, and Doug will tell me who's in.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yes, excellent. Looks like a good project coming up. All right. Good morning, everybody. First one I see is, and I'm just, well, let me change this over. I'm on top chat. Let's go to live chat. And the first person I see is, boy, that changed things. I see Gerard the French Turner. Good morning, Gerard. Good to see you. And I'm referring to my morning. It's afternoon for most of you folks. I understand that. Chris Dodds, hello. How are you? Todd at Glen Cove Woodworks. Hello, Todd. Clint at Wood Dancers. Hi, Clint. Paul Hoyton, how are you doing? As we keep going down, Fred Gulliver is here. Excuse me, Fred Gilliver. I say that wrong in my head every single time. Roger Kent is in. Oh, and it just jumped. Where'd we go? There we go. Robert Botwood. Hello, Robert. Rob the professor is in. Hello, Rob. Alex the Wood Butcher. Hi, Alex. Greg Alexander is in. And I am at the bottom of my list. So if I missed you, just holler. I'll be glad to give you a shout. It's not on purpose, I promise you. It's purely by
So
accident.
so guys, I have this mounted in the quill of the headstock, and on we
Okay, here we go. Paul was worried about this, and sure enough, as soon as we get started, after he disconnected everything, it was all working well. And he said just before he came on, he said, "Now I'll hit the live button, and who knows what'll happen." And it has gone. But it is good to see everybody this morning. Um, I want to see. I hope everybody's planning on being in the hashtag week this month. Steve has done wall hangings before, but this is an interesting one. There you are back. Good,
I'm back.
good, good.
I hope it doesn't persevere too much, guys, because I know the mistake when trying to watch something that keeps cutting out. Yeah, but nothing I can do at this stage.
Right. Huh. Well, there it went again. So anyway, this wall hanging, it's to start off not square, not round, not rectangular, some other odd shape. and then do your turning in it, make it a wall hanging, whether it's Steve did 3 axes yesterday. It turned out,
That
excuse
wasn't
me,
meant to
turned out,
happen. Oh,
no, but it happens
it happens. I was
when
worried
you do
about
that.
that bit of wood. It broke off when it shouldn't have. But anyway, no harm done. We'll get the chuck. I was just about to cut that off anyway, so it saved me the bother.
Your stub broke?
Yeah, the
Okay.
wee thing.
All right.
It's the wee lumpy bit broke off.
Yeah.
And
that'll happen.
Looking at the timber, it looks a wee bit pulky. So I'm not
Okay.
too sure. Well, we'll see what happens. I like when a plan comes together. Everything's going wrong this morning. This afternoon.
It's okay. So I was saying earlier, technology is great when it works, and right now you're not getting served by the internet community very well.
No, it's not going very well at all. Just want to.
Rob at Copper Owl Wood Turning has joined us. Hello, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Copper, as I like to say.
I'm just denting that wee point there, so I put my ring center onto the point of it, and then give me a bit of support while I turn this away. So we'll see what this is like. It's not looking promising, but we'll persevere. In case you didn't hear me, it's a piece of sycamore. So it's in the chuck, and I brought the tailstock up. So
you should be good now. Tell you what, this is 2 days in a row for Gerard. It's good to see you in the chat, Gerard. Twice in 2 days. Sounded like you had a good time with your grandchildren over the holidays, so that's always a good thing. Now some free time.
Just stop out and have a wee look at that. You can see how pulky that is there, but we'll just carry on with it.
Alex said some things are simply out of our control, and that's exactly right. When we're dealing with technology and relying on something as big as the internet, we're definitely not in control. Yappy Megs, hello, Yappy. Good to see you. As we say here in the States, hadn't seen you for a coon's age.
So we'll just tap out and have an wee look. I'm coming up with more corners here. So the thing about doing a winged vessel like this, your piece of wood must be entirely square. If it's off by a millimeter, you'll notice it when it comes around to here. So I'm off a wee bit. So I'm going to try and move it. Or no, I won't at this stage because I can usually sand the wee bit of difference away. You can see it here. It's coming up. It's near right 3 or 4 mil. Same there. But when this one comes around, it's more like 1/4 of an inch. So it's a thing to look out for, guys. If you're doing weak wing vessel like that, but you can't fix it with a wee bit of sanding. Nobody's going to notice it that much, you know.
These excuse me, these bias turnings are all so much fun with all those points swinging around. But like Paul says,
looking to see what way is the best way to go about this. Should I turn that round now and go from that end? What end's the top and what end's the bottom? These are the decisions you have to make when you're starting out with something like this. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to curving that over. So this will be my points here. So we'll carry on with that. I think we're fine for now. Just make sure when you move it to the rest that you check it clears all the points. Or you'll get a nasty surprise.
It is. It is a surprise. I was just going to further what Paul said, that starting on these bias turnings like this, you have to double check, triple check, make sure it is a cube, and that you get those original 2 points that you're turning with they're in line. And you can often do that with put your tool rest up and just kind of hold your finger close to those points and turn it by hand and make sure they're coming around at the same position. And if they're off just a touch, you can, like Paul said, you can correct that with sanding. But the closer they are, the better it is.
Just stop that and have another look. So we're almost here. We flat there and there and there. So
Good.
I just want to bring that round, and it'll take the shape. You can see it better on the tailstock. Yeah, you're starting to get your shape now. So you just want to be careful you don't take too much timber off. So, and a good idea is to mark where your point is with a wee bit of tape. So you know that your tool is going to start here. I'm going to bring that a wee bit closer so you can see it. And a wee bit down that way, a wee bit far away from it. Right, okay. So that lets you know where your tip is of the point. So it's just a wee reference mark to keep you sort of informed.
Yes. This is one of those projects too. You want to make sure your hands and fingers stay on the right side of the tool rest. You don't want one of those points catching a finger.
Just want to see where that is now. All right, I'm hitting it all. Just so I want to tidy this up now. We better turn right there.
Andy, the Valley Wood Turner, has joined us. Hello, Andy.
Hi, Andy. Well, going along to the madhouse.
the frog box.
Right, that's okay. So I'll just bring this bottom down a wee bit more and put our foot on it. We're going to have a wee raised foot on the bottom of this, as you can see. So I'm going to have for to sit on it. So it's raised off, not entirely flat. So we just take a wee bit more of that away. It's too heavy.
Kind of a Chinese influence, isn't it?
There's just a wee bump here. I'm trying to smooth out. I'll have an RV look at that. It should sound up okay. Full 2 marks on that, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to take this nub off and then make a choking point underneath. So I'm going to do a recess. You'll hear me all the time, I don't like recesses. Well, this time I'm going to have to, because I don't want to chuck on this and squish it. So I'll do a wee recess for it to go into the chuck to let me do the top of it. The sign of opportunity is there to change your mind. Just take that tailstock away. Thanks, sake. I got my hammer. Oh, got it. The hammer stuck in the bedway till I laid it. Yeah.
That's
Couldn't
something
get
I
the
would do, Paul.
tailstock back. Yeah.
That's something I would do. While Paul's making these adjustments, I'm going to put in my, I can't do that. Never mind. I was going to put in my link for tomorrow, but I can't do that.
I'll just see what that's like. That's all right. So I've got a parting tool. Make a wee recess here. Now, I'm a bit worried about that recess because this wood, as I said, it looks a wee bit pulky to me. There's a lot of pulkiness there to that. So we'll stand this wee bit up underneath and see what we can make of it. Just put these tools back in the rack. We'll do a wee bit of sanding. So we're just going to start with Yeti grit.
Yappy was asking
And
what
just be
wood you're
careful.
turning. It's a piece of sycamore. It's figured and spalted and all kinds of strange things going on, but going right on. Vinnie Charlton has joined us. Hello, Vinnie.
We're just slowing the lathe down a wee bit. It's going too quick. That's better. Just touching up before I point to that lately.
A lot easier to get those done now than it is later. Jennifer's Craft and Creations has joined us. Hello, Jennifer. Good to have you with us today.
Welcome along.
Just toss it aside. Little orphan child there.
So it's easier to do the wee points by when the lathe stop, because if you have that spinning round, what you can tend to happen is it round the top of it over. So, but you have a lot of space between that.
I've destroyed a couple of those intermediate pads as well, getting those points hooked on it as they come around, not paying attention to what I'm doing.
So
If any of you folks in the chat haven't tried one of these bias turn pieces, it's a lot of fun. You do have to be a little careful with those points flying around, but they're fun to do, and people see them, and it definitely has that wow factor. How did you get that triangular shape? It really is cool. And when you've done a few of these and you get comfortable with them, try one where you keep all 6 of those side points. So you curve out, you have a deep cove in between the 2 sets of points. And talking about getting the oohs and ahs. You will get lots of oohs and ahs. And if you sell your work, somebody will come along and pay good money for that because they just can't figure it out. Norman Greenwell has joined us. Hello, Norman. Good
hi,
to
Norman.
see you today.
Despite it being, I thought it was bad piece of wood, it's turned out not too bad.
Just got a lot of figure in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of figure in it.
Yeah, lots of spalting. The wood itself has figure in it, but then you got spalting on top of that, and goodness.
There is a wee bit of torn grain here. That's pulled out. That's a wee bit suspect on it, but anyway, that's it. So last on 400.
Lucy Bundy Rowe has joined us. Hello, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. Just shaking the sharp point off the foot. That looks all right. So I'm happy enough with that. We'll get a wee drop of sand sealer on that. Da, 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 da. Right. I'll change over our camera. I love it when you put sand sealer on any timber and it pops out at you.
Bring some life back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Paul. I love putting whatever, whether it's the sanding sealer or that first coat of finish, really brings it to life.
And you don't know what you're going to get until you start turning into it. It's like that saying Forrest Gump made. Life is like a box of chocolates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
you got to
just,
uncover that thing, don't you?
yeah.
It. I turned a goblet the other day that was. I really wasn't sure what the wood was until it was a half log that I cut in half, um, and realized it was cherry, but it was one of the roughest looking pieces of cherry I think I've ever had. But once I got it on the lathe and got it turned down to
Turned out,
something, I started to see it was a pretty piece of
turned out a
wood.
nice piece.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes that's the best. With you think it's a ropey piece of wood until you get into it.
Oh, sure.
So just a wee bit of Yorkshire grit and that, and that flew out of my hand. So I'm getting a new bit. And just be wary of those points, guys, if you're doing a wing vessel like this, because they can wrap in knuckles and the fingers very easy.
They'll bite you. I've seen a couple of folks who came out after one of these with a splint on a couple of fingers because they will.
Isn't that
They
nice?
bite hard. They bite hard when they bite.
Yeah. Hey, we taste the wax on that just before we turn it around. I'm still using now the old tin, Doug.
I told you. I told you.
I haven't used any of it. I've done very little work over Christmas, and I haven't used any. I didn't do any much turning. I'll tell you the truth over Christmas. So I've just been footering about with the new laser and stuff, and I have a few projects coming up
Yeah.
in the pipeline, which will be videos. It won't be lives because it takes too long to engrave what I want to do on the piece and all. But I will make a couple of videos of it and let you see what I've got up to with
Good deal.
my new laser, which I got for free.
Oh my, yes.
After winning the competition, they had a competition. Anything you bought off the company in November, you would enter into the draw, and 2 lucky winners would receive their money back. And I was lucky number 1.
Okay.
So I got my money back, which made me very happy.
I bet.
I got an email on Christmas Eve email from a company saying, Paul, you have won the competition and you will receive all your money back.
Great. Great.
So I was over the moon at that.
Professor Rob said, I turned snowmen from you over Christmas. And when I polished it up, it had a shirt and tie on in the grain. They do kind of dress up sometimes, don't they, Rob? Yeah, yeah. A shirt and tie on. That was a posh snowman.
That's the bottom done, or underneath of the foot. So we'll get that turned around. I probably will have to change chucks here because they're the big jaws on that. Yeah. And change to a smaller chuck.
Chris Dodd says the mother-in-law was here for 2 weeks, so I turned a lot over Christmas. Good for you, Chris. That's a real good excuse to turn, isn't it? Oh, me, I travel down to my parents' house and it never fails. My dad says, come out here and look at something. Next thing I know, I'm turning for about 2 hours.
Yeah. That'll work. Just checking those jaws close down to what I need. So
I think he's asked me to look at the same piece of wood probably 3 or 4 times. How would you cut this up to turn it?
So
and then he says, while you're here, go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
Right. The only issue I have with it, the recess in this is my foot, and you can see why. if I change camera. So you have that, and your truck is expanded into it. So you're putting pressure on the outside of this, so it could let go. So you don't want to over tighten it.
Yep.
And take it easy. That's the only issue I have with doing a recess. If you're doing something like that there, and you have, a foot on it that has been hollowed out, and there's very little timber on the inside to hold it. That's the only issue I find with them.
Right.
Because they can let go.
Yeah, one thing I was told when I was introduced to recesses like that was to leave an inch outside of the recess. So you have your recess, then at least an inch of wood. In your case, you've got a finished foot.
Maybe should have left it a bit thicker, and then when I turned it right, I could have done the foot. But anyway,
that's okay.
All these things that appear to you as you're doing the thing, and after you've done it, that you realize that you could have done with making it a wee bit thicker. So we'll just be gentle with the cuts.
There you go. I've seen 1/4 inch of wood hold on in a recess, and some rough turning done with that recess, and they held on fine. But I've also seen some that are closer to 3/4 of an inch let go. So
I'm just going to bring the tailstock up and give me a wee bit of support while I hug some of this timber away, and it gives me that we add a bit of security too, with holding it firmly in there. So
sure does.
We can get taking some of this away because we need all this away. So
Alex has asked if my dad turns. Yes, my dad does turn. He got me back into turning. I turned when I was in high school and then was away from it for a long time, many years. And was there for a visit one time. He says, "Let's go do a pin turning class." He had taken one already, and he just wanted to go a little further with it and asked me if I wanted to go with him, and he took me, and that was great. Next thing I know, he's asking me to go to a bowl turning class.
We'll just stop it and have a wee look to see where we are. So we need to come off more in here. We're coming down on the sides, okay. Remember, when you're coming down something like this, it's down here. You need to take the timber off. It's not up here. So we need to take more of this away.
Mm-hmm. But after that bowl turning class, I was hooked. He was not so much hooked. He's been a woodworker for many years and does a great job. But he's really just now starting to turn a fair amount in his retirement years. Actually, in the last 3 or 4 years.
We'll stop out and have a wee look to see how we're doing. We're doing okay. So I'm leaving the bulk of this timber in the middle to help me with the cutting. So obviously, the thinner this gets up here, the more chance of it moving a wee bit. Now there is a good bit of difference in that between that one and that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to work hard to sort that out.
I just noticed Yappy's comment in the chat saying that they're in the middle of their summer and they're burning up right now, and Chris Dodds as well. You guys are having it hot, I say. Rest of us, it's getting kind of cold. Freezing up again. That's okay. But I was starting to say my dad went back to flat work and has started turning again, and where I've turned for quite a number of years now, um, getting more and more experience and moving along. And so every time I go, he's asking me, "How would you cut this? How would you turn this?" Uh, there was one piece he just didn't know how to get it on the lathe and turn it. It was kind of odd shaped. So he said, "Well, while you're here, just go ahead and put it on there." Then he says, "Well, why don't you get it started?" I ended up turning the whole thing. Uh, it was fun, and he enjoys watching. He likes to see me turn. He's just he's a good dad. Likes to see his son do something well, and I don't know how well I do it, but I do it well enough that he learns something from it, and that's what he wants to do is learn. So cold easterly wind blowing. Yeah, yeah, Robert. It's crazy. The wind is. I went out the other day and it was fairly warm, and then the wind started blowing, and that wind was icy cold. It was killing me. Yeah, Paul says he's lost pick again. Yeah, he's I see he's froze up on my screen, so I'm just kind of hanging out, and we'll talk a minute and chat a minute. Um, I started to say, any of you guys, if you haven't, you need to try one of these biased turnings. They're a lot of fun. Just keep your fingers on your side of the tool rest, and everything will go fine. Everything will go fine. That's what's awesome, Copper. Did I get to teach my dad? I enjoy it. I enjoy it. He he's got a nice. Oh, I think Paul's gone. Okay, come back. We're not turning yet. We're not moving yet. Now he's gone. Here he comes. He had to check out and come back in. Nope, didn't make it that time. Had a lot of rain, Yappy. Okay, y'all need rain, I'm sure. That's a good thing. Fred is freezing cold. What's that, Lucy? A lot of flooding, turned to ice. School bus had a crash this morning. Oh, I hate to hear that. Hate to hear that. It doesn't matter where it is. I hate to hear um, school buses having issues like that. Fortunately, most of those stories they end up with everybody is safe. It's bumps and bruises, maybe a broken bone here and there, but nobody major hurt. Um, every once in a while, it's tragic, but not very often. Uh, Paul, we're going to give you just a minute here. I don't know if Paul's going to make it back or not. But anyway, let's see. Where was I? Oh, I started to say Dad's got a um, mhm, Laguna lathe. He went out a couple years ago and bought a Laguna and loves that lathe, and I don't blame him. I've turned on it several times now, and it's a fine lathe. It works so nice. Um, some of the scariest times were in the school bus or in the front seat with mom. Yeah, I understand, Copper. Yeah, Lucy said everybody was fine, so that's great. That's great. That's great. Did I miss somebody? Did I miss Richard Phelan? Hello, Richard. I missed you coming in. It's good to see you. Paul's having some internet issues right now, so I'm just kind of wasting time for us while while he's working on that. Um, I was talking a while ago about um, I was talking a while ago about these biased turnings like Paul's attempting to do. Has that ever been one of our hashtag weeks? I don't remember it if it was, but if it was, somebody or let me know one way or the other. Excuse me. Um, I just don't remember. That would be a good one. Even on a mini lathe. The first one I did was on my mini lathe. In fact, first everything I've ever done has been on my mini lathe, which only has a 8-inch capacity. So it was a good one. I bought it. The guy, the tech guy for Nova, at that time it was just one person. He lived in Florida, and I sent him a message. I said, I know these are not made anymore. Do you have pieces and parts and can throw me one together or have a used one? He said, give me a couple days. Let me see what I can do. A couple days later, he sends me an email. He says, I can do it, and this is what it'll cost you, shipped and all. And I said, send it. And so I don't know, 4 or 5 days later, here it comes, this big old box, and it was the box was destroyed, but inside all the packing was great. And I got my little Nova mini lathe, and my goodness, I can't tell you how many tons of wood came off of that lathe. A lot of pins, a lot of small bowls. I even started turning outboard on it. It's a 8-inch swing. I was turning 10, 12-inch bowls on it on the outside. It was great. Loved every minute of it. All right. Um, Paul, I hope you're still there. You're the one that's gonna. It's not coming back on. He says. That's fine, Paul. We all understand it's not your issue. That's an internet issue, not bandwidth. You're just not coming in at all. So it's some kind of internet, whether it's your Wi-Fi or your internet service, one or the other. Um, but folks, we're gonna yeah. Bye, Todd. Have a great week. I will be on tomorrow. My normal time is 3 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock uh, uh, Greenwich Mean Time. And so I'd invite you all to come to that. Something I've never ever done before. One of the few things I haven't done. I've done a lot of things on the lathe, but this is one of them I have never ever done. And so we're going to try it out. Um, if you go see the title, you might understand. Looks like Paul's trying one more time. But just doesn't seem to be working. Uh-oh, we got something. It's Paul, if you're still listening, it's almost as if um, your maybe your OBS is not sending the picture to or sending any information over to StreamYard. Maybe. I'm guessing here. All right. What's all right, Gerard's going to start doing some traveling here in about a month and a half. That'll be great. All right. Well, I think it's a done deal here. So we're going to see y'all later. Jamie will be on. JP will be on this tonight. Um, a little later tonight. He's moved from Sunday to Monday, and today is Monday, so he'll be on this evening with a premiere. I'll be on tomorrow night. I don't believe there's anybody at lunchtime on Tuesday. Wednesday, I believe Wayne will be back Wednesday night, and that'll be a great time. So we're gonna knock it in the head here. Good to see all of you in the chat. Thanks for coming along. It's been an enjoyable day. I'm sorry, Paul's internet gave out on him. That's the way it goes sometimes. So we will see you all uh, down through the week in the other chats. Good to see you all. Bye bye. Paul.